Yes, I have tricks in my pockets. I have things up my sleeves. But I'm the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. To begin with, I turn back time. I reverse it to that quaint period, the 30s, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating the school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes, and so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fairy braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain there was revolution. Here there were shouting and confusion. In Spain there was Guernica. Here there were disturbances of labor, sometimes pretty violent, in otherwise peaceful cities such as Chicago, Cleveland, St. Louis. This is the social background of the play. The play is a memory. Being a memory play, it is delighted, it is sentimental, it is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the fiddle of doing. I am the narrator of the play, and also a character. The other characters are my mother Amanda, my sister Laura, and the gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. He is the most realistic character, being a misery from a world of reality that somehow wears it apart from. But since I have a poet's weakness for symbols, I also use this character as a symbol. He is the long delayed but always expected something that will fall. There is a fifth character, but only appears in this larger than life-size photograph over the mantel. This is our father who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distances. He left his job at the telephone company and skipped light fantastic out of town. The last we heard of him was a picture postcard from Mazatlan on the Pacific coast of Mexico, containing a message of 2 words, hello, goodbye, and no address. I think the rest of the play will explain itself.
Tom?
Yes, Mother?
We can't say grace until you come to the table.
Coming, Mother.
Honey, don't push with your fingers. If you have to push with something, the thing to push with is a crust of bread. And chew. Chew. Animals have sections in their stomachs which enable them to digest food without mastication. But human beings are supposed to chew their food before they swallow it down. Eat food leisurely, son, and really enjoy it. A well-cooked meal has lots of delicate flavors that have to be held in the mouth for appreciation. So chew your food and give your salivary glands a chance to function.
I haven't enjoyed one bite of dessert because of your constant action on how to eat it. It's you that makes me rush through meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. Sickening, spoils my appetite. All these discussions of animal secretion, salivary glands, mastication.
Temperament like a metropolitan star. You're not excused from the table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much.
I bring in the blancmange.
No, sister. No, sister. You'll be the lady this time, and I'll be the darky.
I'm not expecting your gentlemen callers.
Sometimes they come when they are least expected. Why, I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain.
I know what's coming.
Yes, but let her tell it.
Again?
She loves to tell it.
One Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain, your mother received 17 gentlemen callers, while sometimes there weren't enough chairs to accommodate them all. We had to send a nigger over to bring in folding chairs from the parish house.
How did you entertain those gentlemen callers?
I understood the art of conversation.
I bet you could talk.
Girls in those days knew how to talk, I can tell you.
Yes? And what did you talk about? Music.
Things of importance going on in the world, never anything coarse, or common, or vulgar. My callers were gentlemen, all. Among my callers were some of the most prominent of the Mississippi Delta, planters and sons of planters. There was young Champ Loughlin, who later became vice president of the Delta Planters Bank. Hadley Stevenson, who was drowned in Moon Lake and left his widow $150,000 in government bonds. There were the Gutierrez brothers, Wesley and Bates. Bates was one of my bright particular beaux. He got in a quarrel with that Wainwright boy. They shot it down on the floor of Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot through the stomach, died in the ambulance on his way to Memphis. His widow was also well provided for, came to 8 or 10,000 acres, that's all. She married him on the rebound, never loved her, carried my picture the night he died. And there was that boy that every girl in the Delta had set her cap for, that brilliant, brilliant young Fitzhugh boy from Green Country.
And what did he leave his widow?
He never married. Gracious, you talk as if all of my old admirers had turned up their toes to the daisies.
Isn't this the first you've mentioned that still survives?
That Fitzhugh boy went north and made a fortune. Came to be known as the Wolf of Wall Street. He had the Midas touch. Whatever he touched turned to gold. And I could have been Mrs. Duncan J. Fitzhugh, mind you. But I picked your father.
Let me clear the table.
No, dear. You go in front and study your typewriter chart. Or practice your shorthand a little. I want you to stay fresh and pretty. It's almost time for our gentlemen callers to start arriving. How many do you suppose we're going to entertain this afternoon?
I don't think we're going to receive any, Mother.
What? No one? Not one? You must be joking. Not one gentleman caller? There must be a flood. There must be a tornado.
There isn't a flood, there is a tornado, Mother. I'm just not popular like you. We're in Blue Mountain. Mother's spring from North below May.